All right, y'all. First and foremost, want to give all praise to Yahweh by Shimmy, our Shabrak Thumb. Giving sincere greeting to all the brothers and sisters scattered across the four corners, teaching this word with sincerity and charity. Brother Feeney is here, Wednesday's night class. You know, we a little, well, we a couple minutes out. You know, we on that Israel time. But man, all praises for another class, man. We're gonna be dealing with we're gonna be reading Ruth, man. We're gonna read the whole book of Ruth. It's nothing but 4 chapters. Ain't nothing but 4 chapters, and we're gonna see if Israelite or Gentile, man. You know, Israelite or Gentile. And I'm on the stance of her being a Gentile, but we'll also talk about the stance of, you know, the opposing stance of her being an Israelite. And we're not gonna get too deep into it, but I'm just gonna paraphrase what I've heard many people say that are under that banner of she is a Gentile. I thought I was gonna put a banner up. I was gonna put the banner up. Make sure y'all like the video. Coming in, please like the video. Can I show that? There we go. Hit the like button, please. Brother Dion in the building.
Shalom, up.
Shalom, brother. How's everything?
No complaints.
I hear that, man. I hear that, sir. I ain't complaining. But yeah, I know we pretty familiar with this, but this is one of those topics, man. This is about as heavy as if not heavier than not when I'm saying heavier, meaning heavily disputed amongst Israel is whether Ruth is a Gentile or Israel. The stance that a lot of people take, saying that she is an Israelite, is dealing with Numbers 21, 22, Deuteronomy chapter 2, on setting the tone of that particular area. The plains of Moab was an area that was given to Reuben when, you know, they're conquering, they're going through the wilderness, and they're conquering these nations one by one, and then they come on, make that turn, and go into Canaan. And the stance is, okay, well, it was Israelites in that area, but that still is just it's still blanket, like it's still so much room for it's still speculation, still the room for a lot of speculation. You have to assume that, okay, well, it's Israel in that land, it's no Moabites over there, period. Even though we're, you know, we've been granted the land and we've going into the land of Canaan, and is now saying that that is Israel. And that's land being established by Joshua, and then we go into Judges. So a lot of this stuff is happening around the time of Judges. Hold on one second. Let me get some blue letter out, and we gonna go ahead and jump into this thing. What am I looking for? Share screen. Share tab here. All right, man. You can see my screen up.
God.
I know what, I read the first chapter, and then if you can read the second. It says Ruth 1:1. It says, now it came to pass in the days when the judges ruled. So this is what we're saying. Understanding that this is happening in the time the judges ruled. You know, after Joshua's gone, we have these judges here, and then eventually the people start talking about, hey man, we need us a king. Now it came in the pass of the days when the judges ruled that there was a famine in the land. And a certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab. All right, so they take that country of Moab being the plain of Moab, not necessarily Moab. All right. Bethlehem, Judah, house of bread. All right. Beth. Anytime you seen Beth, that's dealing with a house of some sort. Olive Beth, and even that symbol is a little house. He and his wife and his two sons. And the name of the man was Elam Elimelech.
Elimelech.
Elimelech. Elimelech. Elimelech. I wonder if that is like king or something. Hold on, let me look at that real quick. See what Elimelech means. Oh, yep. God is my king. Malak. We know that Malak. We say that all the time. But yeah, God is king. I don't know if y'all seen that. I switched the screen so quick.
Yeah, I caught it.
Shalom, brother Michael.
Hey, shalom, family.
Shalom.
Shalom, up.
How's everybody?
Well, I said can't complain. Can't complain.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Man.
Hey, so you Elimelech.
Elimelech.
So Eli and Melech.
There you go. There you go. And that's all the Hebrew got is God King. And so his name translates to my God is King. But Hebrew don't have the filling words. It's just God King, and then they have to translate it and add these little words in there to make it make sense. And this is why it's a very difficult project to do. But yeah, that's how you broke that thing down. And the name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife Naomi, and the name of his two sons Mahlon and Shilion, Euphrates of the Bethlehem, Judea, Ephraimites of Bethlehem, Judah. And they came into the country of Moab and continued there. And Elimelech's Naomi's husband died, and she was left and her two sons. And they took them wives of the women of Moab. And really, it should be over. Like, the class should be over. All right. But we have this stance on we need everyone to be Israel. But it really should be over. And they say they took from them wives from Moab. Did it say it took from them wives from the country to the plain? It just took them. They are women of Moab. No matter where they took them from, no matter where they came from, this saying they are women of Moab. No matter where they are located at, it still comes down. And so I'm saying we spend times. I watched a class earlier today where I watched an hour of him trying to establish the fact that the place that they're in, the country of Moab, really supposed to be in the plains of Moab. It's a place of the Reubenites, and you spend all this energy doing this, but it's still gonna come. It don't matter where they're at. Even if they were still in Israel, they took them wives of the women of Moab. It's hard to get around that. The name of the one was Ophrah, and the name of the other Ruth. And they dwelled there about 10 years. And Mahlon and Shilion died also, both of them. And the woman was left of her two sons and her husband. Then she arose with her daughters-in-law, that she might return from the country of Moab, for she had heard in the country of Moab how that the Lord visited his people in giving them bread. All right, he visited his people into giving him bread. Where was that? Bethlehem of the house of bread. All right, so they had a famine there. Now the Lord she done heard that it's some good seasons in there. And the famine is over. So, maybe and her husband and her two sons are dead. Maybe let me go back and try to reestablish these things. And sometimes we got to do that. Sometimes we got to go back to square one, and reestablish. Verse 7 says, wherefore she went forth out of the place where she was, and her 2 daughters-in-law with her. And they went on the way to return unto the land of Judah. And Naomi said unto her 2 daughters-in-law, go return each to her mother's house. The Lord deal kindly with you as ye have dealt with the dead and with me. The Lord grant you that ye may find rest, each of you, in the house of her husband. Then she kissed them, and they lifted up their voice and wept. And they said unto her, surely we will return with thee unto thy people. There's a separation there. All right. We want to return unto thee, unto thy people. Not my people, thy people. And Naomi said, turn again, my daughters. Why will you go with me? Are there yet any more sons in my womb, that they may be your husbands? I ain't got no more children. Why you going with me? You can't be, I can't produce you no more kids that can be your husband. You remember that brother that, I forget what that law is called, but you know, when the brother dies, if there's another brother there, before the brother has children, then that brother has to take that woman, his sister-in-law, and go in her and have children for the other brother. Turn again, my daughters, go your way, for I am too old to have an husband. If I should say, I have hope, if I should have an husband also tonight, and should also bear sons, would ye tarry for them till they were grown? Would you stay for them from having husbands? Nay, my daughters, for it grieveth me much for your sakes that the hand of the Lord is going out against me. All right, so you like, even if I had a husband today, you know, if I had children, you gonna wait, 16, 18, 20 years for them to, get of age to be married. You ain't finna wait for them. And they lifted up their voice and wept again, and Oprah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth claved unto her. And she said, behold, thy sister-in-law is going back unto her people. Another separation there. All right, she done went back to her people. If her people, anyway, y'all get that, man. I ain't gotta sit up here and try to go over there. And unto her gods, okay, and unto her deities or her idols. Return thou after thy sister-in-law. And Ruth said, entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For whether if thou goest, I will go, and whether thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God. Where thou diest, will I die, and there will I be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if all but death part thee and me. When she saw that she was steadfastly minded to go with her, then she left speaking unto her. So they too went until they came to Bethlehem. And it came to pass, when they were come to Bethlehem, that all the city was moved about them. And they said, it is Naomi. Is this Naomi, Shalakia? And she said unto them, call me not Naomi, call me Mara, for the Almighty have dealt very bitterly with me. We look at that word Mara. Call me Mara, call me bitterness. All right, call me bitter. She ain't no good. Sometimes that bitterness hits you, you don't even want nobody to feel sorry for you and them, but it's just like, man, it's over. It's almost like jumping. Man, I seen this video today. This young kid said, man, I can't take it no more. He was in a hotel that had about 50 floors. Like, you not gonna survive. You go off over this rail. It was like, you don't even want to look over this rail. You really want to be close to them doors as possible, before you hit to that elevator. But man, that joker went on. That joker just slid over that thing. Man, his partner had to catch him, man. And had that joker hanging on like, man. But yeah, that bitterness, man, that anxiety catch up with you. Is like, what's left? What I'm gonna do? Having these unanswered questions. Yeah, man, that thing will take you over there, man. She want to call herself my Ra. I went out full, and the Lord had brought me home again empty. Why then call ye me Naomi, seeing the Lord have testified against me, and the Almighty have afflicted me? So Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess, I should be over with that too, but her daughter-in-law with her, which returned out of the country of Moab. And they came to Bethlehem in the beginning of the barley season. So, that famine's over. You got the beginning of that barley season kicking in. So that bread is lovely right now. You can read that for me. Well, yeah, you can read that for me out.
Chapter 2.
Well, Shalakia, man, go ahead and just talk to the people real quick. I gotta take a little break real quick. Give me like 30 seconds.
So I don't know if y'all understood where he was coming from as far as initially it said that Ruth was of the Canaanite. I mean of Moab. But it seems like it's like like an unwritten thing about the people and being scattered. So hopefully we'll get some clarification. And it even says here in Ruth 2:2, and Ruth the Moabitess. So what you think she is, Al?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. That clear cut.
Yeah, it's hard to get around that.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you really think about it, if they would have said her lineage, like her father, if they would have said the nationality of her father, then it would have been something. But they didn't put that in there because even nowadays you'll see pictures of Chinese people that were dark skinned. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was just looking at that earlier. Funny you said that, man.
Yeah, man. It's always some evidence, because we was in these countries, so there's gonna be some people of color there. So we'll see.
Yeah, man. I was looking at. They got pictures of dark skinned people out in Australia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Asia. We all over, man.
Everywhere.
But that's suppressed. So
yeah, and I think about when I was stationed in Germany, how many other, even to this day, how many cats were stationed over there messing around with them German girls and ended up having a kid. I got 2 kids over there. You know what I mean? They don't think of themselves as Israelites. They love that German culture, but they are. So,
all right.
Shalaki, I'm back out.
We're gonna read first chapter 2.
Con.
And it says, and this is Ruth chapter 2. And Naomi had a kinsman of her husband's, a mighty man of wealth of the family of Elimelech, and his name was Boaz. And Ruth the Moabitess said unto Naomi, let me now go to the field and glean ears of corn after him, in whose sight I shall find grace. And she said unto her, go, my daughter. And she went and came and gleaned in the field after the reapers, and her hap was too light on a part of the field belonging unto Boaz, who was of the kindred of Elimelech. And behold, Boaz came from Bethlehem and said unto the reapers, The Lord be with you. And they answered him, The Lord bless thee. Then said Boaz unto his servant that was set over the reapers, Whose damsel is this? And the servant that was set over the reapers said, or answered and said, It is the Moabitish damsel that came back with Naomi out of the country of Moab. And she said, I
And
pray thee, let
Shalakia, I seen brother ask why they didn't know. Why didn't the judges know? But we see here, the servants replying. The servant said over the reapers answered and said, It is the Moabitish damsel that came back out of Naomi, out of the country of Moab. So there was knowledge of where she come from and that she was a Moabite. I don't know if that question is kind of phenotone. What is it that I'm looking for?
phenotype.
Phenotype, Shalakia, phenotype type of question, but they knew she was a Moabite.
My only question would be her countenance. How does she look? And was it distinguished back then? Was the eyes, how they got that
Yeah, yeah.
that
That's
would
what I
be
was
my
saying. That's what I was saying about that phenotype. Is it a phenotypical kind of question? Is it based on phenotype? That question based on phenotype.
gotcha.
Does she look like an Asian
Right.
back then? You know what I'm saying? So, and I can't answer that to be 100. I can't answer if she looked it like a Chinese person. And even that, if we gotta be honest, all we go with that is that they are part of incest. They come from incest, and so they got a different what they call it. They missing some
They got that mongoloid gene.
yeah, so
Hey,
it's
Salakia.
slanted their eyes. Go ahead.
Nah, I was just looking at that. I just ran across that, man. Where they were saying this the way they look, how they eyes slant and all that come from incest with Lot.
With Lot,
With their father Lot, yeah, Ammon and Moab, yeah.
So we don't know, but if okay, they got their eyes slanted, but they would still have to be the phenotype of Lot and his kids. So unless we saying Lot, but I don't know if it's that type of question. But if I would think that Lot would be of color, a person of color, I would assume his grandchildren, if he slept with his daughters, even though the eyes are slanted, will also be people of color with slanted eyes. But I've seen, the Asians connected to what people or scholars would consider the first Asians, and this is African people that walk with lions. I don't know if y'all ever seen that, but they real light skinned though. But they not real light skinned, but they're a few shades brighter than me. Few shades brighter than Dion. But they just they look like light skinned Asians, but they in an African tribe. They kind of have like an African kind of feel to them. But yeah, at the moment, it's kind of past my pay rate. You know what I'm saying? Trying to speculate. Well, it's just is this like a Bruce Lee looking type of, yeah. So
Verse 7. And she said, I pray you, let me glean and gather after the reapers among the sheaves. So she came and hath continued even from the morning until now, that she tarried a little in the house. Then said Boaz unto Ruth, Hearest thou not, my daughter? Go not to glean in another field, neither go from hence, but abide here fast by my maidens. Let thine eyes be on the field that they do reap, and go thou after them. Have I not charged the young men, that they shall not touch thee? And when thou art athirst, go unto the vessels and drink of that which the young men have drawn. Then she fell on her face and bowed herself to the ground, and said unto him, Why have I found grace in thine eyes, that thou shouldest take knowledge of me, seeing I am a stranger?
Seeing I'm a stranger, that's also class should be over. Go ahead.
And Boaz answered and said unto her, It hath fully been showed me all that thou hast done unto thy mother-in-law since the death of thine husband, and how thou hast left thy father and thy mother and the land of thy nativity, and art come unto the people which thou knowest not heretofore.
Con, it said you came from the land of thy nativity. All right. And then you came here. You came from the land of your birth. You know that's just showing a separation. She's not from here. She's not part of our people. She's not from our land. Go ahead, Doc.
And verse 12, the Lord recompense thy work, and a full reward be given thee of the Lord God of Israel, under whose wings thou art come to trust. Then she said, Let me find favor in thy sight, my Lord, for that thou hast comforted me, and for that thou hast spoken friendly unto thine handmaid.
And you know how humble it gotta be, how humble you gotta be to say, ask, let me glean after all y'all done gleaned and picked up everything y'all wanted. Let me just go through there and grab some stuff. You know what I'm saying? And grab that stuff that done fell on the ground, man. Um, and like I said, we have laws there that we leave the corners of the field
Con,
and those things that fall on the ground to glean for the strangers to glean from. Even giving provisions for the orphans, the strangers, and the widows. All right, and this is why
con,
it's so important for one to be married, because if you were a widow, you were pretty much just homeless because you don't get no inheritance. And so this is why this was such a reproach for a woman not to have children. This is why you see the 7 women will go to a man because of reproach, because things will be so bad. Not saying you finna get all of those women, but things are so bad, they want some under their name so they can have some sort of inheritance or have somewhere where they could just lay their head for a second. Because those mighty men will be dead, so forth. I'm trying to hit that polygamy thing on TikTok soon. Doing a short class on that. I see that thing prevalent on there, but
even Shalakia, even you seeing how if the wife was barren, she would be more than willing to give up a handmaid to her husband, to even carry that name on.
Con, that's an excellent point. That's a very excellent point. He'll sleep with my husband. So, but it's her child. Sleep with my
Con,
husband. So I can, I can give him a seed. And we seen this happen, more than a few times within the text. This is also why I think that the Samaritan woman was drawing that well. And this is speculation. Don't y'all just take this and eat it. You have to do your own research. Let the spirit lead you. Why she had so many husbands? Because she was barren, and why she didn't? Because they used to think that you were cursed when you were
con,
barren, and we see that also. Our women thinking that the Most High done cursed me and so forth, with barrenness. So she would go to the well at the wrong time. That's why she the only one up there at that well, because she didn't want to deal with the politics or be around people talking about her, saying that she done had all these husbands, but these husbands leaving her because she can't give them no seed.
Mm.
Um,
this is in the 13 says, Then she left, let me find favor in thy sight, my Lord, for that thou hast comforted me, and for that thou hast spoken friendly unto thine handmaid, though I be not like unto one of thine handmaids.
mm,
And Boaz said unto her, At mealtime come thou hither, and eat of the bread, and dip thy morsel in the vinegar. And she sat beside the reapers, her her parched corn, and she did eat, and was sufficed, and left.
Con.
And when she was risen up to glean, Boaz commanded his young men, saying, "Let her glean even among the sheaves, and reproach her not, and let fall also some of the handfuls of purpose for her, and leave them, that she may glean them, and rebuke her not." So they dropped the stuff on purpose. That was the order.
That boy Boaz choosing.
Oh yeah.
Hey, man, drop it and leave it there.
You leave it there, man.
Yeah.
Don't you say nothing to her either.
12.
And you know them servants, man. You know this is, even though it ain't Israel, they still slaves. Them jokers is talking, man.
Mm.
He letting it, just like that. Who let that nigga on that Nash?
Yeah.
Who letting this Moabite sit up here and just get from the good corn? Man, we just came out of famine. You let her get some of the good bread, letting her dip her bread in the vinegar. Man, what's going on, man? She dipping her bread. I ain't never got to dip my bread in the vinegar, man.
God.
Verse 17.
Go ahead.
So she gleaned in the field until even, and beat out that she had gleaned, and it was about an
Ephah.
ephah of barley. And she took it up and went into the city, and her mother-in-law saw what she had gleaned, and she brought forth and gave to her that she had reserved after she was sufficed. And her mother-in-law said unto her, Where hast thou gleaned today? And where wroughtest thou? Blessed be he that did take knowledge of thee. And she showed her mother-in-law with whom she had wrought, and said, The man's name with whom I wrought today is Boaz. And Naomi said unto her daughter-in-law, Blessed be he of the Lord, who have not left off his kindness to the living and to the dead. And Naomi said unto her, The man is near of kin unto us, one of our next kinsmen.
Mm.
And Ruth the Moabitess said, He said unto me also, Thou shalt keep fast by my young men until they have ended all my harvest. And Naomi said unto Ruth her daughter-in-law, It is good, my daughter, that thou go out with his maidens, that they meet thee not in any other field. So she kept fast by the maidens of Boaz to glean unto the end of barley harvest and of wheat harvest, and dwelt with her mother-in-law.
So we can see Naomi seeing like, hey, maybe the Lord hasn't forgotten me. Maybe the Lord ain't, just punishing me. She can see the light. She can see the vision. This is why I be talking about, hearing the Lord, kind of seeing a little light, him giving you a little glimpse of the whole plan, of the whole setup. She's like, wait a minute, you got this out of Boaz field? That's our next of kin. Like, she knew she had a next of kin already there. She knew she had Boaz there, next of kin already before she got there. But things didn't really click until, wait a minute. So how in the world you bring all this, you got all this wheat in here? Where the sweet spot at? Let me know. Let me know where the sweet spot at so we can go back out there. Where workest thou today? He said, Boaz. He said, wait a minute. That's our next of kin. See, that she already got the plan. She already, wait a minute. And so then she gotta go out here and give the instructions. Can one of y'all, Brother Mike, you can read?
Y'all can read up.
Come on. You read this chapter, and then I read the next chapter.
This is Ruth chapter 3, verse 1. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said unto her, My daughter, shall I not seek rest for thee, that it may be well with thee? And now it was Boaz of our kindred, with whose maidens thou was. Behold, we winter with barley tonight in the threshing field, in the threshing floor. Why Wash thyself therefore, and anoint thee, and put thy raiment upon thee, and get thee down to the floor. But make not thyself known unto the man, until he shall have done eating and drinking. And it shall be, when he lieth down, that thou shalt mark the place where he shall lie. And thou shalt go in and uncover his feet, and lay thee down, and he will tell thee what thou shalt do. And she said unto her, all that thou sayest unto me, I will do. And she went down unto the floor and did according to all that her mother-in-law bade her. And when Boaz had eaten and drunk, and his heart was merry, he went to lie down at the end of the heap of corn. And she came softly and uncovered his feet and laid her down. And it came to pass at midnight that the man was afraid and turned himself, and behold, a woman lay at his feet. And he said, Who art thou? And she answered, I am Ruth, thy handmaid. Spread thyself thy skirt over thy handmaid, for thou art a near kinsman. And he said, Blessed be thou of the Lord.
Shalakia, y'all. This is a little going on right here. I looked into that cover thy feet one time, man, and it was a little different than what I thought it would see. To remove, to depart, to uncover one's nakedness, to uncover nakedness, to disclose, lay bare, to make known, to show, to reveal, to denude, figuratively, to reveal, advertise, appear, weary, bring, captive, depart, disclosure, publish, remove, shamelessly, show, derivative, to be naked, henny, to be bald, whence by a softer pronunciation, especially used of the car by taking away the hair, or the face by taking. Yeah. If I find it, man, I'll do another little short lesson on it. I don't want to just say it was nakedness, even though that's there, but it was something very, we got the skirt going over, we got the feet being uncovered. And we got to make sense of that, man. The feet, thou shalt go in and uncover his feet and lay thee down. Okay? And he will tell thee what thou shalt do. He gonna tell you what's next. Once you uncover those feet. My daughter, where we at? Verse it says Ruth, verse 9, it says, Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid, for thou art near kinsman. Telling me, hey man, you know what you're supposed to do, as seeing that that being a near kinsman means that you got to go into me to produce a child for Naomi. Or your brother-in-law, or your next to kinsman. Usually it's your brother, but in this case, it's not necessarily. It's not, Boaz is not a brother to she Leon or Mathlon. It's one before him. We gonna see when we riding, but this is the conversation, man. And what it said, he was scared. He said, Terry, this night, where we at? Verse 9.
Hey, Shalaki.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry about that. Hey, it says, For thou art a near kinsman. And by the A, I have a T, which means it's going to give me a little definition. So I'm going to read it with the definition. It says, Spread therefore thy skirt over thine handmaid, for thou art one that have right to redeem.
Yeah.
One that have right to redeem near kinsman. Something like that.
Because this is a redemption. This is definitely a redemption. Boaz is her redeemer in this thing, because she would remain a widow and be out there gleaning. She's supposed to just be out there gleaning them corners. You know what I'm saying? But this is going to not only get her inheritance, a piece of land, for her and Naomi to be on. This is also gonna give them the opportunity, man, to grow their own food, but not only that, but be under Boaz, who kind of well off. Be under Boaz, who well off, and Naomi having her inheritance also from her grandson rather. But yeah, man, that spreading over, and it came to pass at midnight, the man was afraid and turned himself, and behold, a woman lay at his feet. Yeah. So there was some stuff going on, man. It's you know what I'm saying. She had to wash up, and she had to she had to anoint herself with some oil. She had to smell good on. She was washed up. And he laid there. He turned, and someone's laying at his feet. So this ain't, used to visualize this as, she just under the bed. I don't even know if they had beds like that, but she like at the front of the bed post, sitting down where she can't be found, but man, she in there laying down.
Yeah.
She in there laying. But we gonna continue on. Where we at? Verse
10.
Verse 10, Con.
And he said, "Blessed be thou of the Lord, my daughter, for thou hast showed more kindness in the latter end than at the beginning. And as much as thou followest not young men, whether poor or rich. And now, my daughter, fear not. I will do to thee all that thou requirest. For all the sake of my people doeth know that thou art a virtuous woman. And now it is true that I am thy near kinsman. Howbeit there is a kinsman nearer than I." Hey, Shalaki, hey, take that for me. Take us over for me, Dion, right?
Verse 13. I got you. "Tarry this night, and it shall be in the morning that if he will perform unto thee the part of a kinsman, well, let him do the kinsman's part. But if he will not do the part of a kinsman to thee, then will I do the part. Then will I do the part of a kinsman to thee, as the Lord liveth. Lie down until the morning."
And listen, man, Boaz. Listen, that takes some discipline. It takes some restraints. Boaz, understanding she a righteous woman, a virtuous woman, and that everybody in the town wanted it. He said, "Everybody know you're a virtuous woman. Everybody know that, man. What you mean? I do that." But that's one in front. There's one in line in front of me. But if he don't do it, I'll make sure to do it, man. Just lay down. Just continue to lay down until the morning. Go ahead, Doc.
Verse 14. "And she lay at his feet unto the morning, and she rose up before one could know another. And he said, Let it not be known that a woman came into the floor. Also he said, Bring the veil that thou hast upon thee, and hold it. And when she held it, he measured 6 measures of barley, and he laid it on her, and she went into the city. And when she came to her mother-in-law, she said, Who art thou, my daughter? And she told her all that the man had done to her. Oh, slucky. And she said, These 6 measures of barley gave he me. For he said to me, Go not empty unto thy mother-in-law. Then said she, Sit still, my daughter, until thou know how the matter will fall. For the man will not be in rest until he have finished the thing this day.
Listen, he gonna be restless. He gotta get that done. He gotta get it done. Just sit down. All right, just sit down, my daughter. The veil also, man, is him not seeing her. We could also look at that veil that she was wearing and see if that was a face covering. And understanding that we know our people a cloak. All right, it's not a face covering, it's a cloak. A wide cloak.
The males even did that too, right?
I don't know, man. I don't know about the males.
I remember hearing Deacon say something like that when we was
Oh no,
talking
yeah, man.
about
He was trying. Yeah, no, man. He was trying to. Yeah, he was trying to diffuse that wearing them hats in
God.
that First Corinthians. That's what he was trying to use, man. No, yeah, man. Trying to say, yeah, man shouldn't veil himself.
Yeah. He said that we
But
wore veils back then. I'm like, I ain't seen that in the text.
right. Nah, he was trying to finesse that thing. I got to redo a lesson on that. Unfortunately, that's running prevalent. I actually snapshotted somebody on Facebook saying that. Man, you mean we can't wear hats when praying or prophesying? I can't. Wearing a fitted is a sin. Y'all so overly righteous.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. But because we ain't checking it, it's growing. More and more people getting comfortable putting that thing on their head, man. Wimples. Veil. But yeah, this is a cloak. So he told him to open the cloak. He might have been trying to get a little peek. I don't know. But Boaz was righteous, man. Boaz, any other joker, man, whew.
It's a wrap.
It's
a wrap.
It's a wrap, man. It's a wrap. What you mean? You done came in here? You done came in my bedroom, man? And then he told me, hey, man, don't tell nobody, man. Yeah, like, man, what you doing? What you doing, man? What that mean? What that laying at my feet? What that mean? She was laying on top of his feet.
Well, she was just at the bottom.
But she was just at the bottom.
Yeah, it sounded like she was just basically offering herself, submitting herself to him, but he didn't go.
This is why is the cultural significance of Ruth laying at his feet? It's advertising Ruth to request from Boaz to perform a Levirate marriage, symbolized by the ceremony within the widows remove the shoe of the one who refuses. Jewish meaning of uncovering feet. Uncovering the feet, plainly ambiguous. On the hand, is simply a sign of submission and acceptance of leadership. Many examples of such uses of this smile. On the other hand, it carries certain connotations of physical closeness and exposure, such as 1 Samuel 24:4, 2 Samuel 11:8. So yeah, it could have been just dealing with those feet. You know how we are today, man. Feet could be something. Feet could be. It's a African tribe that, everything else is bare, but they wear these beads around their foot because they feel like, the most private part is their ankles. And so they don't show their ankles to no man, but their husband.
But the boobies is out.
Yeah, the boobies is out, the butt is out, but not the ankles.
Wow.
Yeah, them ankles produce kids left and right, don't they?
I'm telling you. But jokers might be like that. They may not even get aroused by nothing else but them ankles. You see, they're just making a fire, staring at them ankles, man.
I guess if you put it in your mind, you can do anything.
Right. What we have 4. It says then went Boaz up to the gate. But what I was looking at a little bit, it was mostly symbolic, and we have a lot of that. Remember the women washing Christ's feet? We supposed to wash Christ's feet. Watch each other's feet. Something going on with them toes, man.
I'm in trouble, boy, because I hate feet, boy. I don't touch no feet. I need to pray for something. Good Lord.
Oh man.
Oh man, deal with Boaz up to the gate. You know, jugglers be trying to get their feet washed with their socks on, man. All right, bro, this
Oh,
different in there, man. This different in there. Different in that. Step on that towel, man.
Hey.
Oh, bro.
God.
Have on swimming shoes, like
Yeah, con.
Then we Boaz up to the gate and sat him down there, and behold, the kinsman of whom Boaz spake came by, unto whom he said, Ho, such a one. Turn aside, sit down. And he turned aside and sat down. And he took 10 men of the elders of the city and said, Sit ye down here. And they sat down. And he said unto the kinsman, Naomi, that is come again out of the country of Moab, selleth a parcel of land, which was our brother Elimelech.
Elimelech.
Elimelech. Okay, get me right. And I thought to advertise thee, saying, Buy it before the inhabitants and before the elders of my people. Who are the inhabitants? If thou wilt redeem it, well, it could be just is regular Israel, and then you have the elders there also. If thou wilt redeem it, redeem it. But if thou wilt not redeem it, then tell me that I may know, for there is none to redeem it besides thee, and I am after thee. And he said, I will redeem it. Then said Boaz, What day thou buyest the field of the hand of Naomi? Thou must buy it. And see, listen, that should have been the end of the conversation. I will redeem it. But Boaz like, wait a minute though. Then Boaz said, What day? What day you gonna buy the field of the hand of Naomi? Thou must buy it also of Ruth, the Moabitess, the wife of the dead, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance.
God.
All right, you got to get the wife of the dead so you can raise up a name of the dead upon his inheritance. All right, and the kinsman said, I cannot redeem it for myself, lest I mar my own inheritance. All right, I'm gonna mess up my inheritance, having his name involved in that, being involved in both of these affairs. All right, I'm gonna tear mine up. All right, redeem thou my right to thyself, for I cannot redeem it. And Boaz probably knew that, just speculating. Boaz knew that Joker couldn't redeem that mess, man. And he didn't want to tear up his inheritance. He didn't want to split it up, I guess, amongst these other kids. Now this was the manner in former time in Israel concerning redeeming and concerning changing. For to confirm all things, a man plucketh off his shoe. Again, you see them toes involved. All right, a man plucketh off his shoe and gave it to his neighbor. And this was a testimony in Israel. Therefore the kinsman said unto Boaz, Buy it for thee. So he drew off his shoe. And Boaz said unto the elders and unto all the people, Ye are witnesses this day that I have bought all that was Elimelech's, and all that was Shilion's and Mahlon's of the hand of Naomi. Moreover, Ruth the Moabitess, the wife of Mahlon, have I purchased to be my wife, to raise up the name of the dead upon his inheritance, that the name of the dead be not cut off from among his brethren, and from the gate of his place. Ye are witnesses this day. And all the people that were in the gate and the elders said, We are witnesses. The Lord make the woman that is come into thine house like Rachel and like Leah. All right, heavy. He says, and they asking for this for him. May the Lord make the woman that is coming to thine house like Rachel and like Leah, which two did build the house of Israel. And do thou worthily in Ephratah, and be famous in Bethlehem. And let thy house be like the house of Pharez, whom Tamar bare unto Judah. Of the seed of which the Lord shall give thee of this young woman. So Boaz took Ruth, and she was, and you know that the Tamar bare unto to Judah, because you understand that. I know y'all remember that Tamar dressed up as a prostitute, and you know, he didn't want to give him. His other sons was dying, and he didn't want to give her the youngest son, and so she ended
Con.
up dressing like a prostitute. And Judah ended up going in there and promising her to gave her a ring and all of this stuff. You know, because he couldn't pay her at the time, and came back and paid her. Judah, if you don't know, just go and look into that story of Judah and Tamar. It's a good story. But Tamar, even though she dressed up as a prostitute, she was seen to be righteous. Judah said, "Man, she's more righteous than I," because he lied. He didn't give her. I think it was Reuben, man. That she was
It
promised. But I
was
had to go back. Yeah. She wouldn't give him. She wouldn't give him her for a husband. Even though she was waiting. She was waiting. Stayed a widow until then, and then you know he reneged on it. But she still ended up getting that seed from Judah. So he was making a comparison to her to of the seed of which the Lord shall give thee of this young woman. All right, so you know, Ruth was young. So Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife. And when he went in unto her, the Lord gave her conception, and she bare a son. It's in, you know, the writers giving that to, you know, addressing that this baby unto the Lord. The Lord made that conception, gave her that conception, which is interesting. Verse 14, and the woman said unto Naomi, Blessed be the Lord, which have not left. And the women said unto Naomi, Blessed be the Lord, which had not left thee this day without a kinsman, that his name may be famous in Israel. And he shall be unto thee a restorer of thy life, and a nourisher of thine own age. For thy daughter-in-law, which loveth thee, which is better to thee than 7 sons, have borne him. And this is, you know, this is very important also, man, that you know, we see even the, you know, in the women reverencing Naomi and understanding how the Most High works. You know, some things, these trials and tribulations we go through, these losses we take, you know, sometimes those things flip out to being a great testimony, showing the power of the Most High. And that's how women seen this thing, you know. Blessed be the Lord, which have not left thee. He didn't leave you. All right. We know what you went through. He didn't leave you, but now your name may be famous in Israel because of what you went through and because how the Most High redeemed you out of this thing.
That's right.
Verse 16 says, and Naomi took the child and laid it in her bosom and became nurse unto it. And the women, her neighbors, gave it a name, saying, There is a son born to Naomi, and they called his name Obed. He is the father of Jesse, the father of David. All right, he is the father. His name is Obed. It's very interesting here now. You know, that just coming to my head. And they call his name Obed. He is the father of Jesse and the father of David. Now, why am I saying this interesting?
you didn't know that. I don't know.
It was in we supposed to be in the times of the judges.
Oh, con.
You see what I'm saying? You know, David ain't born yet. Jesse, you know, but evidently this doesn't happen by the time this is being written. Y'all see what I'm saying? Like, how you know the grandfather, the father, and the son? How you know the whole lineage that come after that? And they call his name. We talking about Obed. All right, he is the father. Obed is the father of Jesse, and Jesse is the father of David. But how you know that when you in the time of Judges? So this evidently was written after David was born, after King David was born. Might have been during the time of King David, for this to be in here. There's no way that's gonna be in here, and this was written during the time of Judges. Y'all get what I'm saying?
Con.
Now these are the generations of Pharez. Pharez begat Herzon. Herzon begat Ram. Ram begat Aminadab. And Aminadab begat Nahshon, and Nahshon begat Salmon, and Salmon begat Boaz. Boaz begat Obed. Obed begat Jesse, and Jesse begat David. All right, so they have to be in that particular time when this story is written. So it's still, we talking about, you had to go through Saul, and then you got through David. So I don't know, man. It's maybe a couple centuries, 1 or 2 centuries. This story is still being told and still famous within Israel. And then we see it, just honest, holding it throughout the text where we're referencing it and going over it, at this very moment, a couple thousand years later. But I yield, man. Y'all got any questions, anything, man? It's pretty plain reading. You ain't have to dance around too much.
Yeah, I think we gotta stop, Shalaka. We gotta stop saying that all the Bible is only writing about Israel. Because that's obviously not true. There's plenty of characters in here that hold significant roles that are outside of Israel.
Right. And I think we more so lean to saying that, this was only given to us rather than, I don't know. It's I know, we got the precepts of, only I gave you these laws, statutes, and commandments unto Jacob. And yeah, but at the same time, you right that, this ain't about, all these nations are involved in the redemption of pretty much the world, but definitely in the redemption of Israel. These nations are involved into this thing, man.
Salakia,
Go ahead.
that will make up the movie, man. You got the main character, then you got a supporting cast.
Definitely.
So that's it, man.
You definitely dad that.
Yeah, man.
And you just don't, when you make that movie, you just don't want, one particular group of people seeing this movie. You make a movie for everybody. All right, those other nations gonna want to see themselves in there. That supporting cast may have more people there at the theater on launch day than Joker ain't had nothing but a 5-second role. Joker was a background.
Yeah.
Joker really wasn't even in the movie. He was on the backstage, or he was one of the people that build the scenes. And his name in the credit. I had Joker, sit me and we had to watch the credits for 45 seconds just to see his name. Stop that thing, see his name. All praise.
But some of the Shalakia, some of the most powerful roles is gonna be them two Gentiles being told by Christ, your faith, your faith. I forget how he worded it, but he healed them because of their faith, and they were not Israelites. Have he seen no one in Israel, not one. You dig that type of thing. So
right. And we see that, even the Most High understood that too, because we know that in Ezekiel where he said, if I had to gave it to another nation, they would have listened.
They would have heard.
So he already knew that he already knew the motherfucker what it is, but he gave it to Israel for a reason, for this thing to play out the way it plays out. So calm, man. Y'all brothers have anything else? Let me stop sharing this.
Hey, so I just want I looked up that ephah that he gave her, man. I said,
that's a measurement, huh?
Yeah. I said, man, that's 50 pounds.
It was 50 pounds?
Yeah. Yeah, ephah 50 pounds, man. One ephah is worth 10 days of food. So they're like 60 days.
Wow. So Ruth was strong too.
Ruth was strong.
Little 50-pound bag of sugar.
And that garment was that garment was strong too, brother, to make it up out of the with them darn 50 pounds of darn wheat, man.
You know,
50 pounds of
you probably
flour.
had some help with it.
Oh, you ain't lying. You know, he probably sent them servants out, man. They were probably cussing under their breath the whole time, man. He
Right.
gave my family no darn E5 for no flour.
Yeah,
10 days worth of food, man.
Right.
Cuz that boy was choosing. It was great, man. Especially coming off a famine, man, please.
Right.
You know, coming off a famine, man. Yeah, man.
It was some bitter folks over there, but
Yes, sir.
Looking at that thing go down, bitterness was abound.
Yeah, and everybody knew she was virtuous. I mean, everybody would choose. Everybody would come in the Boaz field looking over there, man. Look at her.
Mid Park over there, man. Mid Park.
Yeah, man. Yeah. But yeah, from that thing, man, they wanted you to know that. That's why the writer put it in the text twice, man. Like, you know, from this situation came King David. You know, came King David, man. So it's a very important role within this whole thing, within that lineage. And we can't say that, hey man, you know, that's another thing that comes up is, you know, how can it be the king and the king blood be tainted with the foreign nations? And that's something else we're gonna have to get back into, talking about the interracial marriages, because brothers, at one point, brothers are saying, hey, you can't, they can't be in the, that's the thing, the Ammonites and the Moabites won't be into the 10th generation. That's in Deuteronomy 23, verse 3. Deuteronomy 23, 3. Yeah. And
one of them is Shalaki. Go ahead. My bad.
And you know, they try to use that, but you know, Solomon, a lot of key figures, their mothers were from other nations. You know what I'm saying? So you can't use that and then understand. And then Moses dealing with other nations. A lot of these key figures are wives in other nations. But there is law that come in, showing you this law come in 1 Kings 11, and you know, within Deuteronomy, that we're not supposed to be dealing with these. Not supposed to be marrying these other nations. But this was in the time of the judges, when every man did as he felt. You know, every man did as he felt was right. I think that's how the judges actually start off. You read Judges 1:1. There was no king. So, you know. You finna say something about?
No. I forgot what I was gonna say. So it's a wrap.
I hate y'all. So if anybody got anything else, we'll close out, and we'll see y'all on this thing next Wednesday. But we'll bring it out TV on Friday, y'all. Hope this thing was edifying to everybody. Shalom.
Shalom, man.
Shalom, family.